Well, hiya, BookTube. Bill Ruttenberg here at the Ruttenberg Library. I wanted to come to you with a mail haul. Now, I've already opened all these packages, and they were sent a few weeks ago. I'm a little late getting these videos done. Fully admit that, and I apologize to anyone that was involved in these books being sent or in other videos. But yeah, life happens. But anyway, this mail haul is specifically from one individual, one very generous individual, and you all know him. His name is Steve Donoghue. And if you've watched Steve's channel, you know that in recent weeks, as he was going to the Brattle bookshop, he came across a massive pile of Civil War books that were out in the sale lot. And as he was going through them, he asked me, "Hey, are you interested in if I sent you some new Civil War books?" And I said, "Absolutely." And I thought I was just going to get, a box of 4 or 5 books maybe, because he's done that in the past. Oh, no. Steve's very, very generous. Thank you, Steve, for sending 3 boxes of Civil War books. Not 1, not 2, but 3 boxes fully loaded with Civil War books. So I'm going to try to go through these fairly quickly just so the video doesn't last forever. But I am so excited about this stack of Civil War books that he sent me in the mail a few weeks back. And again, Steve, I apologize for not getting this video up sooner, but nonetheless, I am still very, very grateful to you, sir, for sending these. And I'm always a happy recipient of Civil War and Lincoln stuff. I cannot turn it down. But yeah, these are going to go great in my collection. I did not have, I don't think I had any of them. Well, maybe one of them I had, but the one he sent me was an upgrade for me because I had a paperback, and so it's an upgrade to a hardback. But I think all the others were brand new for my collection, I believe. So let's go through these because I'm pretty excited about this. And if you are not someone who's interested in the Civil War, I'm sorry, this video may not be for you, but if you are a Civil War nut or you're just interested in seeing what I got, this is definitely something for you. So anyway, I got a whole big old stack of them. I'm just going to start going through them. So the first one on top here, and these are in no certain order, and I didn't keep them in order by box that he gave them. I just had them stacked up, and I needed to get them videoed. So here we go. The first one is Shiloh, The Battle That Changed the Civil War by Larry J. Daniel. And very excited about this because, it's one of those battles. It's fairly close to where I live. And I have not read a ton of extra stuff about it. And it's one of them I've wanted to. It's one of them that I've tried to talk my wife into making kind of a detour on one of our vacations to make this a stop on our vacation. I have not talked her into it yet, but keep your fingers crossed because maybe it'll happen someday. But anyway, again, I'm not going to read all these because a lot of them, the titles will tell you pretty much everything you need to know. But again, this is by Larry J. Daniel. It's from Simon & Schuster, and it's a 1997 book. So it's a little bit older one, but that's okay with me. I am A-okay with that. So Shiloh. The next one in the stack is a biography on my man, Abraham Lincoln. And you guys all know I can't turn down a Lincoln book. And this one is Lincoln, The Biography of a Writer by Fred Kaplan. And super neat book. Very excited about this. It had, and it also had, this was really neat because it had some paperwork with it. Although, hang on a minute. Ah, there it is. I was going to say that other side didn't have anything to do with the book. But piecing together a long lost portrait from February 2nd, 2009. So got a nice little piece of newspaper history that goes along with it. I'll have to look into that and read that. But this book, biography of a writer, so focusing on the writings of Lincoln. This is a 2008 book from HarperCollins. And again, another biography for my Lincoln shelf. Here soon, folks, I'm going to be doing a shelf tour of all of my Lincoln stuff. I have to rearrange my shelf because it's starting to get full, and I have to move some books There's a couple shelves that are not Lincoln, and I have to get them moved so that I can fill them up with Lincoln. But I am going to be doing a Lincoln shelf tour here soon in the library, so be looking forward to that. All right, so Steve sent, and he picked up some of these for his library, so you may have seen this author, but Clifford Dowy. And I have never read Clifford Dowy. I am not familiar with his work at all. So he is a new author for me. And this one is his biography on General Lee. It's called Lee. Here's a good black and white of our author. And this biography is from Bonanza Books out of New York, and it is... oh, wonderful. I don't know my Roman numerals when the numbers are big. But, yeah. I'm going to embarrass myself and just show you. So there you go. It's a little bit dated on the biography, but that's okay. Like I said, I like the majority of my collection is older stuff. So it's going to go well with my Civil War collection. And of course I just read the biography on Lee by Alan Gelzo, and I liked that biography. I thought it was well written. This would be good to compare that. That's what I need to do. I need to read a few more so I can kind of compare them across the board. So let's see here. Let me move the books around just a little bit because I got some more by Clifford Dowy. Now, oh gosh, I about lost them. There we go. All right, so these are some books by Clifford Dowy, and the first one, and he actually sent me two of these. I don't know if that was on purpose or accident, but I'll show it to you anyway. Here it says Lee and his men at Gettysburg: The Death of a Nation, and this is the one he accidentally. I think he accidentally sent me two of them. But that's okay. One of them can go to school. And I got teachers all the time who are asking for books. Every year at the beginning of the year, they're like, Ruttenberg, what you got for my SSR book? And so I'll take them, I take my doubles to school, and then I share them with the other teachers. So that'll be something I can share with the other teachers. But there is that one by Clifford Dowy, and it is from Skyhorse Publishing, and it was originally printed in 1958, and this is a 2011 edition of that. This is a 2011, so it is an older work. And then Lee's Last Campaign, the story of Lee and his men against Grant, 1864. And this one, again from Skyhorse Publishing, and this one was originally a 1960 book, and again reprinted in 2011. So thank you for those, Steve. I'm going to dive into some Dowy here sometime soon so I can kind of get a feel for his writing. Now, here is one that I already had, but it was in paperback. So this hardback will replace my paperback because I prefer hardback if I can get them. But this is Lee by Douglas Southall Freeman with a new foreword by James M. McPherson. Of course, McPherson's my favorite, and I've read Freeman before. This is an abridgment from his Pulitzer Prize-winning 4-volume biography of Lee. So this is like the condensed version. And of course, Freeman also wrote those books on George Washington, which I have upstairs in my library. And this was, let's see, it looks like 1934. And this book is a 1991, I believe, 1991 printing. And so, biography of Lee, again, it's based on his 4 volumes. It's kind of condensed into 1 volume. Kind of nice that they do that because not everybody wants to read a huge set. Now, I would, but not everybody wants to do that. All right, so this next one is put together by James McPherson, one of my favorite Civil War authors. And it's The Most Fearful Ordeal, the original coverage of the Civil War by writers and reporters of the New York Times. And so the introduction is put together by James McPherson. this particular book, I'm very familiar with because I actually have this one at school on my shelf for the kids. I had bought this with some of my school money so that they could have some of those primary sources or copies of those primary sources for projects and stuff, and so they could get kind of a feel for public opinion on Lincoln and just different things going on during the Civil War period. And I had actually just said to myself, and I had just told my wife towards the end of the school year, I got to get a copy of this. I'd like to have that in my collection. What do you know? Steve provided, and thank you to the Brattle. All right, Autumn of Glory is the next one up. This is The Army of Tennessee, 1862 to 1865 by Thomas Lawrence Connelly. So this is a big old thick, hefty biography of the Army of Tennessee, and very happy to have that. It's an older edition. It comes from the Louisiana State University Press out of Baton Rouge, and it is 1971, and like I said, it's a hefty book, 500 plus pages, and so that's going to be some really good reading. Thank you for that, Steve. Got a nice cover on it, library plastic cover. This one got me pretty excited because I like the writings of William C. Davis. I've got several of his other books, and this is Crucible of Command. Ulysses S. Grant and Robert E. Lee, the war they fought and the peace they forged. And it is a big old thick book. I think this one would probably be right up, Peg over at the history shelf. This would probably be right up your alley if you have not read that one yet. Pretty excited about that. It is 2014 book, so it's fairly new within the last decade here. Or it's 10, 11, going on 11 years old. It's from DeCapo Press, and again, I'm just real excited about that. I like reading about those two generals and the battles they fought with one another. That's pretty exciting stuff. Next one in this big old pile, and we're starting to get to the bottom of it. This is Chancellorsville, Lee's Greatest Battle by Edward Stackpole. And Edward Stackpole, I believe, was a general and became a military historian. And I have got his book. He did a book on Gettysburg, I'm fairly positive. Let me see. Yeah, they met at Gettysburg. And I have read that before, or at least I started. I'm pretty sure I read the whole thing. But I have that in my collection, and Stackpole was a pretty good historian, so I'm excited to have this. It's from Stackpole Company, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and it was printed in 1958, so it's got a little age to it, but that's okay. Again, I don't mind older histories or biographies. That does not bother me whatsoever. And so, got that. 3 more left. Thank you if you've made it this far. All right, so this one is from the Library of America, and it is The Civil War, the first year told by those who lived it. Edited by Brooks D. Simpson, a Civil War historian, Stephen Sears, another historian, and then Aaron Sheehan Dean, which I am not familiar with. I know the first two, but I don't know the third one. But anyway, this is from the Library of America. Nice little edition here. Nice end papers on that. Got a map of the United States. And basically, this is full of accounts of the first year of the Civil War. And probably not something you're going to read cover to cover, but something you're going to dip in and out of from time to time, and definitely nice to have in a if you've got a sizable Civil War collection. And I think I got a decent sized Civil War collection, and so it's nice to have these. This is printed in 2011. But it's got, just to kind of give you an idea of what all is in here, it's got like memoranda regarding Abraham Lincoln from John G. Nicolay. Of course, Nicolay's the one who, him and John Hay wrote the 10-volume biography, one of the first full-scale biographies of Lincoln. It's got Jefferson Davis to Robert Barnwell Rhett Jr. Let's see, Sam Houston to H.M. Watkins. So it's got, it's like a series of letters and diaries and official paperwork back and forth. Frederick Douglass, the late election, December 1860. So, gives his thoughts on that. It's got some from William T. Sherman, James Buchanan, Abe Lincoln, Ben Wade, John Crittenden. So basically all of the big names of the Civil War era, they're in here with different accounts from them. Again, maybe not something the average person would read, but a Civil War nut, going to eat it up, and I'm going to eat it up. All right, 2 books to go. This one's from Carol Reardon. I'm not familiar with her and her work, but it's Pickets Charge in History and Memory. Kind of a neat cover there. I like the the painting on the front there. It's from the University of North Carolina Press out of Chapel Hill. And 1997 book. Let's see. If, as many argued, the Civil War is the most crucial moment in our national life and Gettysburg's its turning point, then the climax and a central moment in our nation's history is Pickets Charge. But as Carol Reardon notes, the Civil War saw many other daring assaults and stout defenses. Why, then, is it Pickets' charge at Gettysburg and not, for example, Richardson's charge at Antietam or Humphrey's assault at Fredericksburg that looms so large in the popular imagination? Why, even today, does Pickets' charge still evoke profound admiration for the bravery of both the Southern attackers and the Northern defenders who stopped them? Why does Pickets' charge still demand as well that we dwell on war's heavy toll of human life? And it goes on to say a little bit more, but you kind of get the idea. It's going to focus on the importance of Pickets' charge and where it sits in history today. The last book in the pile, Shiloh, Bloody April, by Wiley Sword, with a foreword from Brigadier General S.L.A. Marshall. One of the great untold stories of American history, the first comprehensive account of a pivotal battle of the Civil War. So another history of Shiloh. Glad to have it. There's our author in all of his glory with a nice turtleneck. Let's see here. 18 maps, 38 photos, and other stuff in the back there. It's from William Morrow and Company out of New York, and it's a 1974 book. So there you have it. BookTube. I would try to hold all these up in honor of old Steve Donoghue who sent them, but I'm pretty sure I would drop them all. So I'm not going to give you a pyramid, but there is a large handful of, or an armful of Civil War books that Steve Donoghue sent me over a period of a couple of days, 3 boxes full of them. Thank you for your generosity, Steve. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate your friendship here on BookTube, and it means a lot to me, and I appreciate the books that you sent. But let me know, BookTube, if you've read any of these. What were your favorites out of the stack? Any of them that you'd recommend me trying to tackle first? Let me know what you think. And so until next time, happy reading.